Hello. And this is ER, Emotional Response. Thank you for rushing in. Like when you have a physical injury, you rush to the ER at a hospital. This is the place you run to when it comes to emotional trauma, emotional overwhelming feelings. It's where you come to seek understanding in your emotions and topics around your emotions. So welcome to ER. This is Life Coaching with Ink. Ivory, hello. This is a continuation of the topic of identity crisis. I did expound a lot on identity crisis, what it looks like, what are the different vices that make you come to an identity crisis. However, I didn't dive too much on how to resolve the state of identity crisis because it's not meant to be a state that you're in forever. It's a point in your life where you lapse. And I say lapse because you can go along fine every day. And then all of a sudden you like, why am I here? What am I doing involved in this? And so you take 2 steps back and you're like, hold up. I didn't even know, like, I'm so far from who I am as a person. And so you get caught up either by the sway of the audience, like I talked about before, the sway of accolades, what everybody is saying. You have to be centered with you and who you are and what you are designed to do. And that is, don't matter if you get an audience or not, whether you get accolades or not, you have to remain true to you. And whatever you are designed to do, whether it's 2 people in the crowd or 20,000 in the crowd, you operate with such passion in whatever you're designed to do, to the point that it doesn't matter. Identity crisis becomes major when those things are not added benefits. It's okay to have an audience. It's okay to have accolades. It's okay for people to see different things in you. But when they are, or the audience is the determinant factor, that's when it's a problem. And that's when sometimes you lapse into identity crisis. Oh, I was doing that because it got me 20 likes. Oh, I was doing that because I'm just meeting so many people by doing that. I can't even think of the artist that's out, but it's a young man that's out that goes and does stunts, and he does stunts to get attraction going in his direction, and those stunts can either get him into legal actions or have him pay a certain amount of money so everybody can be in cahoots with the stunt. And so you have to stand back. Don't lose yourself in the process of trying to gain an audience or trying to gain a crowd. Whatever you do, even if you get affiliates with something, make sure it's affiliates that fall in line with your passion and where you're going. Because in some shape or form, I don't know why I'm stumbling over my words because I'm so passionate about this. In some shape or form, it's going to haunt you. And most of the time, it haunts people when they are alone and looking themselves in the mirror and they seeing their reflection and seeing who they are. So it's so key. It's so key for you not to be sweet. Now, one point that I brought up on Tuesday was time well spent with yourself. And that's one major component in finding your identity. Spending time alone. It's healthy, it's normal. Sometimes even taking yourself out on dates. Well, let me go to the restaurant. Let me go to the movies. It's normal. Even if you're in a committed relationship and married, it's normal to do solo acts just so you know how to enjoy being with you. And it also brings to attention certain things you don't like. Or it even brings to attention things that you're passionate about and you don't notice it until you're out in public by yourself and you're like, this is my niche. Like, come on, bro. I want to be a key influencer in this. I'm just good at doing that. So let me do it. But if you always have a crowd around, you always got to talk to somebody, you always got to be connected on social medias and you don't have that time spent to yourself, you don't have any identity. Or if you do, it's faint and few. And it affects your commitment levels too. Because if you don't know you and who you are, how are you going to be effective in any relationship, whether it's work or personal? So time well spent is a very, very, very good thing to do. Another good thing to do, and I'm not swaying towards what you should be doing under it or how you should be doing under it, because I am a firm believer in self-discovery in this process, but praying. Develop a prayer life. Develop a prayer life. Where you can fall in tune with your soul and what really, sometimes just prayer is just filtering out everything. So everything that matters can be brought up to the light. And yes, I know when I bring up prayer, it also brings to the attention that people that, well, I don't believe in praying because I don't believe in a higher being. That's okay. Because I said it's another way to fall in tune with your identity. I'm not making this, I'm not standing over you telling you X, Y, and Z, because nobody stood over me and told me X, Y, and Z. It was self-discovery for me. And so it is with you too. Another way to come out of the identity crisis, outside of spending time with yourself, outside of praying, is self-help books. You don't know everything. Yep, I'm knocking at that door. You do not know everything. You do not have everything figured out. And there are some people, even if you got a degree in X, Y, and Z, even though you done spoke on certain topics for years and you know so much about those topics, there are still certain people that know a little more than you in some shape or form. So self-help books are very, very good. I have to put emphasis behind it because people say, well, I don't have time to read. Well, they got even to-go apps for people. Kindle. Other apps out there that you could also dive in and just be on your phone. You're on your phone anyway, but you could flip through a book. I done read several books from my phone. So if you don't have the time to pick up a book, you can flip it on your phone. But self-help books are designed to help you. Self-help books are able to bring you to a point where you know what you should do and you want to do to get where you are designed to be. So self-help books are also helpful too. Going to seminars, going to workshops, they're helpful too. I'm not ruling anything out because you can learn so much from so many things to bring you out of the identity crisis. Definitely having a confidant, someone you can bounce all your thoughts and emotions off and able to filter things through. So I encourage you to look at all those ways and apply them in some shape or form. Well, I don't like talking to people. Self-help books. Well, I don't like reading. Self-reflection time. It's like you could go in so many different directions to get to the point where you have identity. So I had to conclude it with different ways because you could bring up a problem, but unless you lead someone to the solution, they'll stay in their problem. And as big of a topic as I think identity crisis is, because people are doing things for so many other reasons instead of being true to themselves, it's a topic that can be resolved. And so I'm glad you tuned in today on the different ways to come out of your identity crisis. I am reachable at any point. You can email me, ink3130@gmail.com. Again, ink3130@gmail.com. And if you want to dive into the topic a little more, you can. But I'm here to help. So let's get centered and find our identity, why we were called on this earth. Have a beautiful weekend. Tune in next week for next week's topic. I'm always excited. I'm always excited to talk to y'all because just as well as y'all gain a deeper understanding, I'm always in a posture of learning. So I always learn. I came across an 80-something-year-old guy, and he told me the way he stays young, he's always in the posture of a pupil. That means you always have something to learn in life. So if you just picked up and listened to this podcast and was like, all right, self-reflection time spent to myself is good. Oh, so it's cool when I talk to someone so I can filter out all these thoughts that's going on in my head. And sometimes I have to add before I conclude, if you don't have a confidant that you can talk to, life coaching is very healthy. Therapy is very healthy. So tune in next week on Tuesday. It was a pleasure talking to y'all again, concluding on identity crisis.